Yeah, I'm paranoid, right? Welcome back, Ratlings, or just welcome if you're new here. So, if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you know what this is about. I've done videos in the past talking about how I DIY my wardrobe to be more interesting and me and alternative. But I thought today I would just kind of go over my favorite ways to easily customize and just kind of make my clothes my own through DIY and to make them more alternative and interesting and cool, which I know a lot of you guys have been interested in. So, yeah, if that's something you're interested in, most of these, I try to keep them really simple, where like they usually don't require like any sort of like sewing machine or too many skills, where basically you just kind of need some cheap basics and you can make some really cool things out of it. And I want to talk about that today, because a lot of people, or like the excuse for not dressing how they want to is because like they don't have enough money or whatever. But like to dress alternative, it doesn't take that much money, if any at all, and you can make a lot of what you already have, or just from cheap thrift store stuff. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, stick around. So first up, if I'm gonna go through like go through my clothes, the first thing I do is just go through like my shirts or something and just cut them up and alter them a little bit. It can be something as simple as just like turning it into a crop top, or more of like a muscle tee situation here. Like this used to be like a giant t-shirt, but I just cut off the sleeves. It's so much more comfortable. There's a lot of options for how you can cut up and customize your shirts and just kind of make them more interesting and fit how they look. Like I just cut off the neck on this one, so I can also wear it both ways because I like the design on the back of this shirt. One, it's my first way because then you have a bunch of extra fabric, but it's an easy way to make your clothes more interesting, especially if all you have is like plain t-shirts that are all kind of the same cut. By just like, cropping it or cutting off the sleeves or just altering it a little bit, you can make it way more interesting and fit you better. Because like a lot of my because I don't like shirts that are like too form-fitting, or like the sleeves are too tight, or especially if there's more like feminine cut shirts, because they kind of go too long and they look awkward on me. So just by like cutting that off, it makes the fabric lay differently, and it's just a really easy way to instantly make your shirts more interesting. And I don't do it to all my shirts. Like I still have some plain t-shirts because I still like having those too. But ones that I'm not wearing for some reason, or like ones that like get like holes in the armpits, because that's a pretty common thing, just cutting off the sleeves and suddenly it's like a brand new shirt that I will wear so much more. So yeah, that's an easy thing. If you watched my first video on this, I talked about how I took a pair of overalls and I put them with patches and stuff on them because I just wasn't wearing them very much. And at first I thought that would fix it, but then I remembered I don't really like wearing overalls all that much. But I love the pinstripes and I love the patches on these. So I was like, okay, I just cut off the overall top part, and now they're just a pair of like nice shorts that I can just wear a belt with, and I'm actually gonna wear these now. And then from there I can take the top piece and I turn that into like a hip pouch thing. I'll talk more about this later, but it's just easy to just cut things up and change them. You can sometimes like these sleeves, just like putting little slits in them to just give them more texture and be more interesting. Or have a pair of leggings. You can't really see it, but it has a cool effect because there's like holes. It's really easy. Same with like this pair of jeans. I cut a bunch of holes in. I'll talk more about those later too. But it's just a good way to start, and it's really easy because literally all you need is a pair of scissors, and then you have a bunch of fabric that you can use for other things later. Because I don't put that away. I keep it. I will make it last as long as humanly possible. And my next thing, I religiously use fabric paint. It is amazing. One, it's really cheap. You can even just use acrylic paint, or you can mix fabric paint medium in with acrylic paint. It's really cheap. Just get like your nearest like craft store. And again, if you don't want to get like actual fabric paint, you can just heat set acrylic paint with like an iron, which is really nice. But I've created a lot of my favorite designs. Like Rat King sweater has a whole thing. Like I just created a stencil and then sponged on the paint there, and this has been washed so many times that it's still really nice looking. I mean, it's gonna have kind of a worn look, but that's just kind of, you kind of gotta accept it. And this is kind of part of the style too. Or, okay, these pants are really old, but I just painted one of the legs white and put like bugs on them. I've also had to repair these multiple times, and they have like holes that I've patched over. Yeah, this is one of my favorites, and again, the more you wash it, the more it'll like fuse with the fabric, and you can still see the designs, even though they're faded. I really love these. There's so many options, or here's like a skeleton top. Like I usually just use white and black paint, but you can also make colors with them. Like I don't wear these shorts super often, but for this, I just used a piece of cardboard to make a stencil, what I just dipped in the paint and then put it on here. I kind of want to try to do this again with like different colors because blue is not a color I wear as much, but it works. And I kind of want to try and do something with like different shapes because I feel like that can be really cool and make your job easier. I don't know, it's really fun. A lot of my shirts that were just plain and boring I didn't know what to do with, they got fabric paint designs, or these pants got like spider webs. I put a spiral on these. Like, you can, there are so many options. One of my favorite uses of fabric paint is to make patches, which, again, if you watch my videos, I love patches. Like, here's one that's just on this shirt here. The patches that are on these shorts, it's mostly just fabric paint, and it can make really cool designs, which it's just really fun. You can use other things to make patches, or like you can just cut out patterns from other things, but painting your own is really fun. And then I use patches basically on everything that's boring, and it just gives them a really cool look. I have so many pairs of patch shorts that I just put a bunch of these on. I have a lot of these. It adds a lot of visual interest. Or here's my favorite patch pants. Like, they're just crusted in so many different patches that I made over time, and I just slowly add to them as time goes on. It was also a mix of just like fabric paint things that go directly onto the pants. But patches are a really cool way to just make plain things more interesting. Like, I have a lot of shirts that I just put, actually, hold on, where is it? Where arch that? There we go. It's fun to, like, you can put your own design. Like, I made my own, like, Destroy Boys shirt, and I put a patch on here. And then I also use fabric paint on the back to put wings on it, which this is I never wore this shirt before because it was plain, but then now I touched it up. It's something that I love wearing, and I think it's super cool. And patches also are a cool way if there's holes in it. The holes are an obvious way. Like, I have pants that got holes in them, and I would put a patch over it, and it looks really cool. Or if I had like a piece of clothing that had another design on it that I didn't like anymore, or I didn't like it. Like, this was a hoodie I got from a like camp or something. It's like a 4-H camp. Like, the entire back had a camp thing, and like there's a logo on the front. And I found this like Scream t-shirt, and I just cut out the thing and then used fabric glue, put it on here. It's a little frayed on the edges, but it stays on really well. Like, this has been washed so many times, and I wear this hoodie so much because it is amazing. And also, same with this hoodie, it had some design on the front. I just didn't like it anymore, and I sewed on this thing. I love the looking of the stitches and fabric paint. It's cool, and I think it's a really cool way to like. It's a cool way to like make it look how you want it to, and be more interesting, but also like make clothes that you wouldn't wear anymore more interesting, if that makes sense. Because I feel like oftentimes we get clothes, and if we don't like it anymore, we just throw it away. But I like to try and find ways that I can keep it and make it something more interesting that I would wear. And things that have like patches on here that I made, I think it's super cool, and I love wearing them because basically just like wearing my art on my body, which is cool to me. But I can also use them to like add texture a lot. So I was talking about like these pants earlier. There are like pattern patches, but I cut a lot of holes in these, and I didn't like all the locations of the holes. They were kind of boring. So I just took plain black fabric and just glued it. I have a fabric glue I use. I can't find it. There's like a Mod Podge fabric thing or whatever. And I just took black like t-shirt fabric basically and just glued it over. And it gave them a really cool texture that I think is really cool. It makes them like a lot crustier and grungier, and I love it. Or any like extra scraps or extra patches that I didn't end up using, I'll just put them on things like this, where it just kind of gives them so much texture. Like, there's a mix of just like scrap fabric, patches I didn't use, and then like waistbands of things, or there's like stitching in it. I don't know, they're really cool, and it can just make things more interesting just by crusting all these things on here. And some of them I sew on. Well, you can just use like embroidery floss or just normal floss, honestly, and it holds up really well. But whenever I'm lazy, I will literally just glue it on there because it works. And sometimes you have to like touch it up, but it stays on pretty well, and I love it. And like these shorts I never wore before because they were so boring, but now they're like nice and crusty, and I love them and love layering them with other pieces. And another really fun way to add texture is by using studs. I got this kit. I think it has to be like $10 or something. That has a bunch of different size like spikes and things. And like little like flat studs that are really cool to put in clothes. Like, here's a pair of shorts. I just put like spikes on the side, and I put some of these here. Same on, what are they on this pants? I put some here. Oh yeah, there's fun ways to like decorate things, and it adds just like a cool texture. My Rat King hoodie, actually just like yesterday, I put some spikes on the shoulders. Can't see them super well, but they're, again, just another fun way to it just makes things a little bit more interesting. I have a patch jacket. I don't want to get it out right now because I don't want to, but I have a bunch of spikes on the shoulders and things, and it just makes it all crustier and more fun and cool, and the metal kind of breaks up a lot of the like fabric-y and paint stuff, and it's cool, and it looks hardcore and nice, and it's cheap and really easy to install. Okay, another fun one that I did is I just got a pair of like cheap fishnets, and then cut holes in them and put safety pins here. I'm actually wearing them right now, but they're really cool, where it's like literally just pulling holes open and then putting tiny safety pins. They're kind of hard to put on, but it's not that bad, but they look really cool, and it adds, once again, more texture and more interest, and it's really easy and cheap to do, because literally these are like tiny ass safety pins and holes in cheap ass fishnets, that's a fun and easy one. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but I made this like hip pouch thing out of overalls. You could also use like a satchel, but I can just take it, unclip it, and put it around my waist, which is really cool. Here, where it just hangs here, and I can put things in here. I have another one too that actually like closes, that's made out of like the pocket of like an old pair of pants or something. That works really well, and it attaches to a belt, which is really nice because sometimes I don't want to carry a bag where I'm going, because I have like some medicine that I need to carry with me like 24/7, and sometimes I don't want to carry a bag with me. So I can just like attach this around my waist, or just attach a belt with that pouch on it, and hands-free, and it carries like hand sanitizer and medicine and like a phone. It's pretty great, and I love it. This one, since it doesn't like close at the moment, I might change that, but it's still nice, and it's cute, and I think it's cool. Speaking of bags, this is probably the only thing of mine that I used like a sewing machine for. It's just a tote bag. It's really simple. I made it out of just a bunch of scrap fabric, and I barely know how to use a sewing machine, but bare minimum, and it works, and it's great for carrying my stuff. And then I could also decorate it and put all my weird things on here. And this is another one I want to talk about, but just bottle caps make excellent pins, where you can just like fold in the sides and put like a soda tab in there and a safety pin, and then you can paint them and decorate them as you want. Like I have like X-Men ones on here, like we have a Wolverine and Vi, and you can paint them, and they make really fun gifts, and they're a really cool way to customize things and put on beanies and shirts and stuff. Like I have some right here. It's fun, I like it. And just putting random shit on here. I collect like pins that I got from other things. There's like an eye on here. There's just like a key ring with charms on it. It's fun, and just kind of like putting random shit together, it makes it look cool, and like I drew this pattern on with like a Sharpie. It's easy, and I made this in like one evening. And now for just like accessories, I get a lot of compliments on these because I really like them, and I have a few methods. Really easy ones are just hip chains, which you can buy, like you can get those, and they're probably nicer if you buy them, but you don't need to. I have chains, I literally just grabbed this at like a hardware store, and I cut it up. Like I made a choker, I have like another necklace, and then I have a handful of these that I can just like wear on like belt loops and stuff with just safety pins, and they work great. I need some stronger safety pins because these kind of great because these can break easily, but getting like if you can get like clasps, those work too, but this works for me. It's fun. Or I save soda tabs, and you can easily make chains out of them by just like cutting the edges and then looping them together. Also, I just attach them with safety pins, and they're really cute and they're really fun. I think I have only one hip chain that I actually like bought that's like proper, but these work just as well, and they're cool, and it's cool that you made them. I also make a lot of my own necklaces. You can sometimes just attach, like this is just like a cheap chain that I got them in a bunch of different colors, and just like with a cheap pair of pliers, you can make your own necklace. And like here's like a ukulele pick. It's cute. Or if I have other charms I can put on there. But some of my favorites are to just use polymer clay and make whatever I want. I like polymer clay because it doesn't dry out, and I have a tendency to let my things dry out. So they only harden whenever you bake them, and I can make really cool things. Like I love this necklace. My favorite ones that I get a lot of compliments on are my teeth necklaces, and like I have one here. And like they're super cool, and they were super easy to make and just attach to a chain like this and wear. I also sometimes will wear this one on like my hip because like it's teeth. Teeth are cool, and they're creepy, and I get a lot of compliments on these because I think they're super cool. And it's literally like you just need a little bit of clay, make it into a tooth shape, and then paint it, and then seal it and put it on a chain. Like, it was super easy. Like, this was just like one evening, and it was really fun. You could also like wire wrap rocks and crystals like this. I'm not very good at wire wraps. This is I got a thinner wire recently, but it's really fun, and you can make cool necklaces like it. And I like wearing crystals because it's nice and they're pretty and it's cool. Or if you really want to look like a queer, I suppose, just like a carabiner with a bunch of random ass keychains. It's great. I just put this on my belt loop when I leave the house. Also because it has my keys on me, because I will forget my keys, because I'm like that. But like, these are some keychains. Some of them are gifts. Some of them are made. Like, this is a skull I just attached to a keychain. It's a plastic skull. It's great. Or like, I just sewed that together with scraps. It's fun. And again, it just adds more interest and like walking ASMR. I suppose. Oh, it's really fun, and they're nice, and it can just make an outfit look a little bit more interesting with just accessories. Now, these ones are a little bit more technical, and I know, like, if you can't crochet, that's your thing, but also it's easy. Like, I made this myself. Like, it's a hat. I make a bunch of these. They're super cute, super comfortable. It only takes me like an hour to crochet one of these. Or I literally made 2 bandanas yesterday. Again, easy. If you don't know how to crochet, it's fine, but also, like, there's a lot of tutorials out there that are really easy to follow, and these can just make an outfit more interesting. This one's a bit less my style, because this one's meant to be a gift, but it's cute, and they're really fun. And it's kind of nice being able to make things yourself, and again, this one's a little bit more technical, because that's more if you know how to crochet. You can also, like, crochet, like, gloves and bags and shirts, which I don't really do as much, because I have no attention span. I mostly just crochet small things, but yeah, it's an easy way to do it. And then finally, we can get to shoes, which I have a few pairs of shoes I'm very proud of because I customize them a lot. I have these boots. These are kind of like my everyday, like, these are my fun, like, really cool boots. They got chains, they got spikes, they got like little things in them, and cool laces. Like, these are like my cool shoes that I wear places. And then I also have like my Converse that I could just draw on and play with and like paint on, and they're really cool. And I want to paint more on these. I think I talked about this in another video, but I had these pair of Converse that they were like orange, like they were just like all I could get because they were new. Converse are expensive, and I really wanted high tops, and these were just what was on clearance. But I wasn't wearing them because I didn't like the color, so I straight up just took fabric paint and painted them black. I was really prepared for it to turn out horribly, but then after like letting it go through the wash where the fabric is set, it actually gave it a really cool worn look, where the paint kind of gave out on the edges, where like it gave it like a really cool texture. And I really do want to paint more designs on these because I think they're really cool, and now I wear them a lot more. I don't know, it's just really fun to customize it and just kind of figure things out for yourself, mixing and matching laces and putting charms and drawing on them, because it's your things. It is your right to make them look how you want to and make them your own, if it means you'll love them more, if that makes sense. And I guess my biggest takeaway from this is just don't throw things away just because they don't work anymore, or they have like a hole in them, because there's still ways to make it last longer. I could make a whole video about how much I hate fast fashion and how big of a problem is it, and I can't really make a huge difference in the world around that sort of thing, but I can just do my part to be a bit more sustainable and conservative in my consumption, basically. Because whenever I get clothes, I like to make it last as long as possible, and I will do what I can to make it cooler. And then, if you kind of know anything about alternative fashion or alternative culture and stuff, buying things like this new it's not the best way to go, because a lot of these subcultures grew out of like poverty and were made and like prioritized DIY and individualism and like making them yourself. So by just buying it from a company that mass produced these products, you're kind of undermining that. And I know a lot of people who do, like, maybe they're not fully aware, and that's okay. But that's why we're here to educate people, and now you don't have an excuse to not do it because you don't have enough money, because I think I've spent like a total of like $30 to work on all these things, and I have so many more things I didn't show on here because these are just like some examples. Like, the majority of my wardrobe I've made cool and more interesting for myself. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching as I just talked about clothing and fashion and things. I really like making videos about these, and I want to make more in the future. If you have any questions, just let me know. And if you have any other suggestions for how to customize your wardrobe, you can tell me about them in the comments. And I do love making these videos, and I want to make more because you guys really seem to like my clothes and how I work on them. And these are just my favorite ways to personalize my wardrobe better. So yeah, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll be back with another video soon. Until then, ciao!